Hello my dear students, welcome to fourth session of this topic. Today we will discuss about the physical properties of aldehydes and ketones. Okay, physical properties. In that, the first one is boiling point. Now, the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones is higher than the corresponding hydrocarbon or ethers of comparable molecular mass. Okay, boiling point of aldehydes and ketones are higher when compared to corresponding hydrocarbons or ethers of comparable molecular mass. What is the reason behind this? The reason is very simple. If you consider this is aldehyde or ketone carbonyl compound, we know that it is having partial positive charge, it is having partial negative charge. There is a dipole. Next, if you consider the another carbonyl compound, here also partial positive charge, partial negative charge. That means these are dipoles. Dipole. This is dipole. And because of this, there is a interaction between this oxygen and this carbon, and this is called dipole interaction. Dipole interaction. Okay, so because of this dipole interaction, the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones are higher when compared to corresponding hydrocarbons or ethers. Due to this dipole interaction, there is a association of a molecule takes place. When the association of molecule takes place, the boiling point increases. Next, when compared to corresponding alcohols of comparable molecular mass, aldehydes and ketones are having less boiling point. What is the reason behind this? In the case of alcohol, okay, in case of alcohol, this is alcohol. In this case, there is a intermolecular hydrogen bonding is present. Intermolecular hydrogen bond, and because of this intermolecular hydrogen bond, association of molecule takes place in the case of alcohols. But please remember, in case of aldehydes or ketone, the intermolecular hydrogen bonding is absent. Due to the absence of intermolecular hydrogen bonding, the boiling point is less when compared to alcohol. That is because the bonding, that is hydrogen bonding, is stronger when compared to dipole interaction. That's why the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones are less than the corresponding alcohol of comparable molecular mass. Next, another important physical property is solubility. What about the solubility? The solubility, if you consider lower members of aldehydes and ketones like formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, acetone, etc., are soluble in water. Why these are soluble in water? Due to the formation of intermolecular hydrogen bonding with water molecule. That's why these are soluble in water. Okay, so lower members, that is formaldehyde, comma acetaldehyde, comma acetone, etc. are soluble in water. Soluble due to the formation of intermolecular hydrogen bonding. But as the hydrophobic part increases, that hydrophobic means water hating, okay, hydrophobic part increases, that means alkyl chain length increases, or in case of cyclic compound the cyclic ring size increases, the solubility goes on decreases. That's why the higher members of aldehydes and ketones fails to form a intermolecular hydrogen bonding with the water molecule, and because of that the solubility of aldehydes, higher members of aldehydes and ketones are less. Okay, so that means the higher members are insoluble because it fails to form intermolecular hydrogen bond with water, or in other words we can say, as the alkyl chain length increases or hydrophobic part increases, the solubility goes on decreases. Okay, so this is about the physical properties, that is boiling point and solubility. Next we will move on to the structure of carbonyl functional group. Okay, in carbonyl functional group, carbon atom undergoes sp2 hybridization and gives 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals. Okay, carbonyl carbon undergoes sp2 hybridization and gives 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals, and these 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals orient towards the 3 corner of the equilateral triangle. Okay, 3 corner of the equilateral triangle. If you observe the structure, this is carbon and these are the sp2 hybrid orbital. These are the sp2 hybrid orbitals. And what should be the bond angle? The bond angle is approximately 120 degree. Bond angle is 120 degree. Now what happens? One of the sp2 hybrid orbital, of carbon overlaps with the p orbital of oxygen and forms a sigma bond. Okay, so this is oxygen, it overlaps with p orbital and it forms sp2 sp sigma bond. sp2 sp sigma bond is formed. Next, the two sp2 hybrid orbital of carbon, two sp2 hybrid orbital of carbon overlap with 1s atomic orbital of hydrogen. Both these sp2 hybrid orbital overlap with 1s atomic orbital of hydrogen and forms two more sigma bond. Or it may be the sp2 hybrid orbital in that one of the sp2 hybrid orbital overlap with the 1s atomic orbital of hydrogen and the another sp2 hybrid orbital overlap with the sp3 hybrid orbital of carbon and forms two sigma bond in case of aldehyde. But in case of ketone, both these sp2 hybrid orbital overlap with the sp3 hybrid orbital of carbon and form two sigma bond, that is in case of ketone. Now what happens, the each carbon atom in carbonyl carbon, the carbon atom having the unhybridized p orbital containing one electron. Okay, so this is unhybridized p orbital lies exactly perpendicular to the plane, exactly perpendicular to the plane, and it is having one unpaired electron. This oxygen is also having one unhybridized p orbital is present, and this unhybridized p orbital contains unpaired electron, and this overlap sideways, and forms a pi bond, and also oxygen contains two more p orbital, which contains a lone pair of electron, Now in this case it is having trigonal planar structure, and the pi electron cloud lies exactly one above the plane and one below the plane. Okay, so this is about the structure of carbonyl functional group, or we can simply write like this. These are the two bonds, this is carbon atom, this is pi bond, and this is sigma bond. Okay, so this is about the structure of carbonyl functional group. Next we will move on to nature of this functional group, nature of carbonyl functional group. Okay, now we know that carbonyl functional group can be written like this. Now what happens, if you observe the electronegativity difference, the carbon is less electronegative when compared to oxygen. Therefore what happens, the shared pair of sigma electrons shifted slightly towards oxygen, and it is having partial negative charge, and the carbon atom is having partial positive charge. Okay, so due to the partial displacement of shared pair of sigma electron towards the oxygen atom is having partial negative charge and carbon atom is having partial positive charge. And due to the presence of partial positive charge on this carbon atom, the carbonyl compounds readily undergoes a nucleophilic addition reaction. That means the nucleophile can easily attack towards the positive charged carbon atom. Okay, so that's why the carbonyl carbon or carbonyl carbon atom which undergoes nucleophilic addition reaction. Nucleophilic addition reaction. So this is about the nature of carbonyl. Okay. Next we will move on to the reactivity of aldehydes and ketones. Now, when compared to ketones, the aldehydes are more reactive towards nucleophilic addition reaction. That is, aldehydes are more reactive towards nucleophilic addition reaction when compared to ketones. Okay, please remember students, aldehydes are more reactive when compared to ketones towards nucleophilic addition reaction. Why these aldehydes are more reactive than ketones? We can explain by considering the two important factors. That is, the first one is electronic factor. First one is electronic factor. Why these aldehydes are more reactive than ketones? See, in case of aldehydes, this is H R double bond O. Next, in case of ketone, this is R. So this is aldehyde, and this is ketone. Now observe here, due to electronegativity difference, there is a partial positive charge on this carbon, partial negative charge on oxygen. Here also partial positive charge, partial negative charge. Due to electrophilic nature of this carbonyl carbon, it undergoes nucleophilic addition reaction. That means, as the electrophilicity of this carbon increases, the nucleophilic addition reaction also increases. Therefore, the reactivity also increases. Now, observe here, what is the nature of this R group? The R group is electron releasing a group. That means it causes positive inductive effect. Here the positive inductive effect plays a very important role while deciding the reactivity of aldehydes and ketones. Now observe here, in case of aldehyde, there is a one R group. That means positive inductive effect is less. But in case of ketone, there are two R group. The positive inductive effect is more. When the positive inductive effect becomes more, the electrons are released towards this carbonyl carbon atom. Therefore, the electron density on this carbonyl carbon atom increases. When the electron density increases, electrophilicity decreases. when the electrophilicity decreases, the reactivity decreases. But here only one R group is present and it pushes the electron towards this carbon. When compared to ketone, the positive inductive effect is less. That's why electrophilicity of this carbon is more. Therefore, aldehydes are more reactive than ketones. Okay, so why aldehydes are more reactive than ketones? That positive inductive effect is less in aldehydes, than ketones. That's why the reactivity towards nucleophilic addition reaction, aldehydes are more reactive when compared to ketones. Okay, so this is one factor. The second factor is steric factor. Steric factor. What is this steric factor? The steric factor is nothing but the bulky group covers the carbonyl carbon atom. Now observe, in case of aldehyde, this is RCOH. Okay. In case of ketone, it is RCOR dash. So this is ketone and this is aldehyde. Okay. Now, the reactivity of carbonyl compound, either it may be aldehyde or ketone, the reactivity towards nucleophilic addition reaction, that is due to this carbonyl functional group. Whenever this carbonyl functional group is exposed to attacking reagent, whenever the carbonyl functional group is exposed to attacking reagent, then attacking reagent can easily attack towards this carbonyl carbon atom. That leads to the formation of nucleophilic addition product. Now, what happens here? In case of aldehyde, only one R group is present. This is bulky group. But another side, a small hydrogen is present. Therefore, this carbonyl carbon is easily exposed to attacking reagent. That's why the nucleophile can easily attack towards this carbonyl carbon atom. But what happens in the case of ketone? In case of ketone, the two bulky group is present. These are the two bulky group and this is called as steric hindrance. Adana enanta karitave? Steric hindrance. Okay, so two bulky group covers the carbonyl carbon atom. That means carbonyl carbon atom is hidden within the two bulky group. That's why attacking reagent cannot attack this carbonyl carbon very easily as compared to aldehyde. That's why the aldehydes are more reactive than ketones. Okay, why aldehydes are more reactive than ketones? Because steric hindrance is less in case of aldehydes. Steric hindrance is less in case of aldehydes. That's why aldehydes are more reactive when compared to ketones. These are the two factors which plays very important role in the reactivity towards nucleophilic addition reaction. That is, one is electronic factor, another one is steric factor. Okay, please note. Okay, next we'll move on to chemical properties. In that, first one, nucleophilic addition reaction. Nucleophilic addition reaction. If you consider the nucleophilic addition reaction, aldehydes and ketone both undergo nucleophilic addition reaction. Now tell me, which is more reactive? Yes, that is aldehydes are more reactive than ketones towards nucleophilic addition reaction. Now, if you observe the nucleophilic addition reaction, see what is the exact mechanism of this reaction. R C R dash, okay, O. This is aldehyde or ketone. Aldehyde or ketone. This aldehyde or ketone, now this is a nucleophile. Nucleophile means electron rich species. This nucleophile attacks the carbonyl carbon because it is having partial positive charge and it is having partial negative charge. This nucleophile attacks the carbonyl carbon exactly perpendicular to the plane. Exactly perpendicular to the plane. See here. Exactly perpendicular to the plane it attacks. When it attacks, this pi bond is shifted on this oxygen atom. Okay, so the nucleophile attacks the carbonyl carbon and the pi bond is shifted on the oxygen atom. Immediately that leads to the formation of a tetrahedral alkoxide ion is formed. Okay, tetrahedral alkoxide ion is formed. See, this is carbon and this is the nucleophile and this is one R and this is another R and this one is oxygen atom having negative charge. Okay, so this is tetrahedral intermediate. Tetrahedral intermediate. Now observe here, very important concept, that is the sp2 hybrid carbon atom gets changed to sp3. sp2 hybridized carbon atom gets converted into sp3. Then this step is a slow step. This step is a slow step. Slow step means rate determining step. Next, this abstract proton from the medium, either it is given by water or it is given by any reagent which is used for the reaction. Okay, it abstracts the proton from the medium and gives a nucleophilic addition product. Okay, so this step is a fast step. Okay, so this is nucleophilic addition product. Nucleophilic addition product is formed. Okay, exactly in this way the reaction taking place. Okay, so this is the mechanism of nucleophilic addition reaction. Please remember, the first step, attack of nucleophile to the carbonyl carbon, is a slow step, and then it abstracts the proton from the medium. See, it abstracts this proton, and that leads to the formation of nucleophilic addition product. Okay. Next we will see some of the example for nucleophilic addition reaction. So let us see some of the example for nucleophilic addition reaction. The first one is addition of hydrogen cyanide. Aldehydes and ketone react with hydrogen cyanide in the presence of base. That means it is a base catalyzed reaction. That means the pH of the medium is more than 7. Okay. So in the presence of base gives corresponding cyanohydrin. Corresponding cyanohydrin is formed. Okay. Now see how this reaction taking place. This is carbonyl carbon. This is carbonyl compound. Carbonyl compound react with hydrogen cyanide. Okay, react with hydrogen cyanide in the presence of base. In the presence of base. Okay, pH is equal to 7 to 9. In the presence of base, that leads to the formation of tetrahedral the intermediate. This tetrahedral intermediate, and this step is a slow step, and then it abstract proton from the medium. Okay, it is a fast step that leads to the formation of corresponding cyanohydrin. This is cyanohydrin. Corresponding cyanohydrin is formed. Okay, so this proton is obtained from this hydrogen cyanide. In the presence of base, the hydrogen cyanide dissociate to give cyanide ion, which act as a nucleophile which attacks the carbonyl carbon exactly perpendicular to the plane. Now we will see some of the example for this. Example: CH3 CH3HO. What is this compound? Acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde react with hydrogen cyanide in the presence of base OH minus, and pH is 7 to 9. And it is a slow step, and that leads to the formation of a tetrahedral intermediate is formed. Tetrahedral intermediate is formed, and which abstract proton from the medium. It is a fast step that leads to the formation of so this is nothing but the acetaldehyde cyanohydrin. Acetaldehyde cyanohydrin. Next, take the example of acetone. CH3 double bond O. This is nothing but the acetone. Acetone react with hydrogen cyanide in the presence of base, that is pH 7 to 9. It is a slow step that leads to the formation of a intermediate and this intermediate abstract proton from the medium. It is a fast step and that leads to the formation of this is acetone cyanohydrin. Acetone cyanohydrin is a form. Okay, acetaldehyde gives acetaldehyde cyanohydrin, acetone gives acetone cyanohydrin. So this is about the addition of hydrogen cyanide to the aldehydes and ketones. Okay, second example, that is addition of sodium bisulfite. See here, when aldehydes and ketones are treated with saturated solution of sodium bisulfite gives a white precipitate of bisulfite addition compound. Now tell me, what do you mean by saturated solution? The sodium bisulfite is added to the water till some of the crystals of sodium bisulfite remains in the container, and that solution is called as saturated solution. Or in other words, we have to dissolve a solute till some of the solute particle remains in the solution, so that further addition or further dissolution of solute is not possible at that temperature. Okay, so that solution is called as saturated solution. Now when it is treated with a saturated solution, it gives bisulfite addition compound. Let us see how the reaction taking place. This is carbonyl compound, either aldehyde or ketone. Carbonyl compound. Carbonyl compound react with sodium bisulfite. That leads to the formation of an intermediate O minus Na plus, and here SO3H, and this is unstable and this step is slow step. Next, immediately proton transfer takes place from sulfonyl group, that is SO3H group, to this oxygen. Okay, now okay, so this is bisulfite addition compound. Bisulfite addition compound is a form. Okay, now example for this. CH3HO. This is nothing but the acetaldehyde that react with sodium bisulfite. It's a slow step. This is an intermediate immediately proton transfer, and this is a first step that leads to the formation of so this is acetaldehyde, sodium bisulfite addition compound. Okay, so acetaldehyde, sodium bisulfite. Next, this is acetone. This one is acetone. This is proton transfer. Proton transfer takes place that leads to the formation of this is acetone, sodium bisulfite. Acetone sodium bisulfite addition compound. Okay. Now, this bisulfite addition compound is nothing but the white precipitate. White precipitate. Okay. Now, observe this. All the aldehydes and also some of the ketone, that is acetone, all the aldehydes and acetone gives white precipitate with sodium bisulfite, but diethyl ketone, acetophenone, diphenyl ketone, okay. So diethyl ketone, acetophenone, this is nothing but the C2H5 CO C2H5. This is nothing but the C6H5 CO CH3. This is nothing but the C6H5 CO C6H5. Okay. So these compound do not give white precipitate with sodium bisulfite. What is the reason? The reason is very simple, due to steric hindrance. That means here very important to note, that is due to steric hindrance, some of the ketone do not give white precipitate with sodium bisulfite. And because of this, there is a one advantage. What is that advantage? If acetone and acetophenones are present in the mixture, then we can easily separate acetone and acetophenone by treating with sodium bisulfite. When it is treated with sodium bisulfite, acetone gives white precipitate and it separates out. But acetophenone do not give white precipitate. Okay, so therefore due to steric hindrance, the compounds like diethyl ketone, acetophenone, benzophenone, etc. do not give white precipitate with sodium bisulfite. Okay, please note this. Okay, third one, that is addition of Grignard reagent. What is this Grignard reagent? That is nothing but the alkyl magnesium halide is called as Grignard reagent. Now, Grignard reagent react with aldehydes and ketones, gives addition product, which on acid hydrolysis gives corresponding alcohol. Depending on the aldehyde or ketone which is used for the reaction, the different alcohols are obtained. For example, formaldehyde react with Grignard reagent, gives addition product, which on acid hydrolysis gives primary alcohol. Okay, primary alcohol. See, H C HCHO, Grignard reagent, or MgX, or I will take a specific example for this. That is formaldehyde react with methyl magnesium bromide. Now it is having partial positive charge, it is having partial negative charge. Here it is having partial negative charge, here partial positive charge. Now what happens in this case? This will attach to this carbon and this pi bond is shifted on this and this will abstract this, and that leads to the formation of CH3 CH2O MgBr. This is addition product which on acid hydrolysis that leads to the formation of CH3 CH2OH plus MgOHBr. So this is nothing but the ethanol. Ethanol is example for primary alcohol. It's a primary alcohol. Okay, so this is formaldehyde. And this one is methyl magnesium bromide. Methyl magnesium bromide. Next, what about the other aldehyde? Other aldehyde react with Grignard reagent, leads to the formation of addition product, which on acid hydrolysis leads to the formation of secondary alcohol. Okay, now we will take acetaldehyde CH3 CHO, and this is nothing but the acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde react with Grignard reagent, that is methyl magnesium bromide. Here it is having partial positive charge, partial negative, partial negative, partial positive. This will attach to carbonyl carbon, this will shift here and this subtract this. Now that leads to the formation of addition product, that is nothing but the CH3 CH3 H O MgBr, and this on acid hydrolysis H2O bar H plus leads to the formation of CH3 CH CH3OH plus MgOH Br. So this is nothing but the propan 2-ol. It is an example for secondary alcohol. Okay, secondary alcohol. Next, what about the ketone? Ketone react with the Grignard reagent, gives addition product, which on acid hydrolysis leads to the formation of tertiary alcohol. Okay, see, CH3 CO CH3. This is nothing but the acetone. Acetone react with methyl magnesium bromide. It is having partial positive charge, partial negative, partial positive, partial negative. So this will attach to this pi electron shift on this will abstract this. That leads to the formation of CH3 OMgBr, which on acid hydrolysis that leads to the formation of CH3 OH plus MgOH Br. Okay, this is nothing but the 2-methyl propan 2-ol. So this is nothing but the tertiary alcohol. Tertiary alcohol. Okay, now I will summarize this. Formaldehyde react with Grignard reagent followed by hydrolysis gives primary alcohol. Other aldehyde react with Grignard reagent followed by hydrolysis leads to the formation of secondary alcohol. Ketone react with Grignard reagent followed by hydrolysis leads to the formation of tertiary alcohol. Please remember student, this is not a new concept, because in the last class we have studied this concept while preparing the alcohol, okay, from carbonyl compounds. Okay, so this is about the addition of Grignard reagent to the aldehydes and ketone.